Gold members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this early evenings live, as I'm here about an hour early, as this evening at 7 p.m. approximately, I have to leave the house because we have our 10-year-olds carnival they have at their school this evening. So I have to be up. I have to leave my house about 7 o'clock. So I'm looking forward to going up there. So if you do hear a little bit of interruption here, towards the back end of this live, I do apologize. But I still wanted to come on for about an hour here, do our due diligence, take a look at how the market's looking coming up to the daily close in 2 hours and 26 minutes. I want to show everybody why you should not be panicking right now. Even if XRP were to come down and retest the bottom of the handle, that's not even an option yet for us to come down there until we break back below a formation that we are stuck within, that we are back testing the outside of it right now. So there is a very real chance that we could have a sneaky weekend pump, but it would be conditional on this level holding. So we'll get into that. I'll show you the exact key level I'm talking about. We've got a few bits of reading to do here as we get into it. I want to go through all the technical analysis first so we're all on the same page. But we've got to go over how XRP eyes abnormal multi-million activity on Korean market amid the XRP price drama. There was a 30 million transfer off of a Korean exchange and it became an abnormal thing. So we'll see why, or maybe because of the size of it in that market. And then David Schwartz, does Ripple CTO cryptic tweet suggest XRP could reach $5 after SEC case? So there was a cryptic tweet earlier by David Schwartz. So we will go over that as well through this article. It'll show exactly what he said through his X account, and we'll go over everything that has to say. So there is some optimism here, along with the obvious nuances here that we had more whale selling last night, as we talked about in the earlier update this evening or this morning. All I can say to that is we had about 35 million roughly by whales transferred out or back onto the exchange and sold during that last push up. And it allowed us to correct about 8.5% so far. On the day, we're down 5.43%. And we knew how this happened. If you were here with the live yesterday, we talked about that very critical 63.3 cent level. And then how if we were making a small handle on a 30-minute time frame cup that many pointed out, we had to hold that 61.5 cent area just to keep that intact. That didn't even hold. So right now we're working on a larger breakout attempt that goes beyond what we've seen yesterday. And it's in a formation that if we lose, has utter consequences here, because it would suggest a pullback here, maybe as little as 55 cents, but more than likely you would start looking at that 50 cent area where the bullish handle has been formed here on this cup. So what we have to remember here as we get into this is XRP is absolutely on a cup and handle, but because we're back below this first tier of this handle, if you're new, let me show you this whole thing and then we'll get into the intro and yada, yada, yada. But this is the cup and handle we're on. So we formed the bullish cup. It took us a couple hundred days to do. We started here back in March of 2022. We finished the cup in July of 2023 when XRP was ruled not a security. And all of the victim-like talk and all of the let's feel sorry for ourselves or XRP's against us or it's never going to go up or it's always manipulated or yada, yada, everything we hear now where people are backing out. You have to remember, we form this bullish handle until it's not. We form this handle on the cup. As long as this doesn't give back, and we don't lose this yellow line right here at about 50 cents, this is very bullish. And 85 out of 100 times, these will be a bullish continuation. Yes, there's the cases where you're in a bear market or when it's not there's not enough support here to where it would break down. That would be an overwhelming acknowledgement here by XRP. If this were to break down out of this structure and we would lose a handle that's been forming since July of last year and we would fall through here and validate it, you would have a catastrophic effect from that. But that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on right now the fact that typically this is a bullish continuation, the cup with a bullish handle. So unless it pours out and resets, which that's why we have that target down there, that is worst case scenario. Everything's come unglued. And now because we didn't break out of a bullish cup and handle, everything that has a reaction has an opposite action if it doesn't go the way it should. So if we don't have the bullish action, we're going to have an opposite reaction, and that's going to be bearish. So all that built up pressure that should get us to $1.21 is the technical target, unless we continue moving down. See, as we move down, if let's say we break out here, because now we went back down. So now technically if we broke out there, our technical target would be $1.17. However, if we break down, and this could go all the way out to here. We don't know how long this is going to consolidate, but if you look at it like, whoops, from a standpoint of, well, I just messed up that. If you look at this from a standpoint of, no, don't want that trading view. Hold on. I just want to line this up just in case it comes all the way through. But if that extends out, I mean, you could see something like that happening, and then you always have to have the opposite reaction here. If we don't have the breakout, there's a lot of built up pressure lined up here. So one would assume if it breaks down, it's going to be somewhere around there. I mean, we can even try to make ourselves feel better that it wouldn't be down way down there. But this is a catastrophic effect if you were to break down. And no reason should this break down bearish. What I'm trying to say here is with this bullish cup and handle, this should not break down bearish. But in the event that it does, we always have to cover ourselves. And we have to understand that if we lose this area, and if we come back here and it's end July, obviously it's a little bit higher up. But in current form, if we lose this area right here, we got to hold 50 cents. You got to hold 50 cents. Let's just call it for what it is. You want to hold this bullish handle, and then you have $1.17 to the top right now. If you were to break out now through June 3rd approximately, you would have a breakout target of $1.17. If it breaks out in the next 30 days, you'd be around $1.20. So that's what we're looking at. And the importance of this area, though, that for whatever reason, we just can't get it right. We've somehow got to stay over this area at some point. That 633 level, I can't even explain how important that is. When you put the rising channel out like this with the resistance, with the current information that it's given us, that 63.3 cents is not just the rising channel. Now, that also ends up to be in play with this area. This is this downtrending resistance. As long as you're below that downtrending resistance, that yellow line, that's the bearish side of this handle. If you get over it, then you can try to have a bullish breakout, but you've got to get over right now 72.5 cents. Right now, if you mark it down here at 70, if it takes a while, but you have to get over that to have that big breakout. And then we speculate that over time, XRP is trying to get up to this $1.97 like Bitcoin did now when it put in the 3-year cup, and now it looks like it's trying to form the handle. We're trying to come up to the actual cup here, a long-term cup. That's why if we break down out of here, it's catastrophic, because we should be making the journey now from this short-term cup and handle. Next step should get us to about $1.17. Then you got to break past that $1.41 area, and then you should be off and clear to try to finish off this cup to $1.97. If anything gets in the way from that and we get a breakdown, that's why we have to be cautiously optimistic. I still think there's very good reason here to be optimistic until this actually breaks down. This is all just a bunch of up and down, left and right. It's like a boxing match, but it's a match of attrition. Now, every time Bitcoin goes down like this, 4,000 points here in a day, the last 2 times XRP's been able to keep from having a bigger drop by having a 5 to 6 to 8% rally back up between 64 and 67 cents right before the next drop. We did the exact same thing here again. Bitcoin's dumped over the last couple of days by about 8 to 9%, maybe even 10%, but XRP's still sitting in that exact same area. In fact, on the bullish side of that area as we speak, because we've had these little pop-outs, whether by miracle or by plan, XRP was able to push up, and now even though it's down 5.2% today, that's just an illusion. We're up actually a couple percent from just a few short days ago when we were down at 57, 58 cents, but we're not as high as we were on the quick wicks that we had the last couple nights. So what is going to give way here? If you are watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. I really need your help because I'm not even here on at the normal time at 6:30. So by you hitting that like button, YouTube will recommend this live. And then it'll pop up in the feeds by everyone scrolling through YouTube. So even if it's not a new member, even the older members, when they go on YouTube, they look through their feed. That's how they find their information. If you hit that like button, YouTube will recommend this and then they'll be able to find me in their feed. If you appreciate my work and respect what I do, please hit that like button, as it's the only thing that I can do to increase the avenue of the YouTube showing some ads for my channel, making it pop up in the feed so we can continue to grow this beautiful community. I can't do this without each and every one of you, and I want to thank specifically the members of Tom's Army for continuing to allow me to put this program forward in the way I see fit. And thank you to everybody who continues to be in here religiously, even when we are red, but understanding that this is the most vital time to pay attention to the formation. We'll get into the comments in a second, but I do thank each and every one of you for being here and continue to have your due diligence here. But please make sure to hit that like button. We're like 40%. If somebody comes in here right now, they're going to see that and say, this guy's not even worth watching. 119 people watching, only 53 likes. That's embarrassing is what they'll say, and they're just going to leave. So please, if you respect the time I put into this, you would understand that hitting that like button is so incredibly important. So good evening. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, March 22nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do appreciate everybody who's here right now. I know it's earlier than I normally come on, but I did not have a choice today if I wanted to do a live. Otherwise, we would not have been able to spend this evening together because I have a prior obligation at the 10-year-old's elementary this evening. So nothing I can really do about that. Dark Rider, welcome in. John Hall, good evening. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. Jorge, Crypto Wizard, welcome in. Stanley Chomino, welcome in, and thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 badge. UK Phil and CJ2 Pilot, thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. I put 25 in the AMM. I've made a few cents so far. Excellent. Excellent. Let us know how that goes. AMM is live, which unfortunately we said once the AMM went live, we'd probably dump down a little bit. So I wonder if this is a repercussion of that, or is that just the overall market? We'll find out. Martin McGregor, welcome in, and have a good weekend as well, my friend. Marvin, Atron, welcome in. Wazibi. Yes, 50 cents. It's possible, but we got to break down some barriers first. We'll get to that in just a second. Maslow, welcome in. Mark Smith, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. As sure as the ground I stand on here, that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. It sure is, and welcome in from Ireland, my friend. Let's see. Ben B, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Meteor. Mosey here in UK. Phil, both of you, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Mark James, welcome in. Good evening to you. Tanya, welcome in, love, and we will look at H-Bar before we get out of here as well this evening. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Walkosh, welcome in. Where do you think Caspa can go this one? I have no idea, but I do not have time to look at Caspa today. I can be honest, brutally honest with everybody. Navajo, welcome in. Looking for sunny days ahead. In time. It's not that we're not even in sunny days. It's that it can be sunny days while we're here together, because the honest to God truth here is that we understand what's going on in the pattern, so the pattern can't trick us. So we can watch this play out step by step and not have our emotion involved. So we'll go over this really quick. When we get into this, we'll go over this. I don't like the fact we have a reversal in the daily, but we are still on the outside and we can make some noise here. Well, Rob, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Light Switch Tom, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Codizer, welcome in. Anyone know the link to look at the automated market maker? Not off the top of my hand. But that's pretty much caught us up here. So let me get back to this now so that we can cover this. So right now, basically what we're looking at here is if XRP can hold this area. See, we got stuck in this consolidatory area. I took off this shorter level because now that this entirety of this is playing out and we're on the outside, this no longer has effect. We've invalidated that short-term structure that could have shot us up real quick to the lower level. Now it becomes a bigger play either to the top side or unfortunately to the bottom side. So right now, if we break up, we're looking at 75.58 cents. And as long as we break out of this pattern, we have a bullish continuation here, at least for the short term. Now, the important thing is how far this technical move would be and what it would mean for the actual cup and handle formation. So right now, we had the uptrending support, downtrending resistance, resistance, swung around. Now we're on the outside. Now, if XRP can take this support and all of a sudden use this instead of breaking down on this right shoulder, but hey, we put in a shoulder, put in a head, put in a shoulder, came down to consolidate. Now, it didn't come down here yet to hit this for a third time, but technically, as we know, if it's going to break out, it doesn't fill the rest of it typically. So we bounced out. Now, if we can back test this appropriately, XRP could have this sneaky reversal. And yes, it would be a sneaky reversal because everybody's seeing red. And that's why we said there is a possible sneaky reversal forming, but we also have to be cautious here because we know what it means if it falls back within. If this breaks down, let's just say you see something like this, that means our technical target's coming down a little bit. Now, technically, if it does this, holds around 50 cents, and then bounces back up, that is the handle support. So we'll get into that in a sec. This is the rising channel support below. Just in the short term here. This is just a short term, or not the rising channel, the uptrending support from the November of 2021 formation. And that's hit it perfectly. Every time we've had a push up, we've had break up, support on the uptrend. Break up, support on the uptrend. Break up, didn't have to come down all the way this time. Yet. So now if we get the breakout and support now on the pattern outbreak, that's how we can invalidate the lower move. Right now, we're in the works of invalidating that bearish tone overall thesis that we had shortly ago. Now, the only way to signal that we've invalidated that bearish movement is we've got to hold this area. Like the more we go down, right now it's 59.9. As it comes down here, it could be 58.5. But you cannot lose that downtrending resistance as support now. If we have a downtrending support hold here, then you have a technical break up to the top side, and that does put you at about 75 cents. Now, as we know, every move that doesn't play out in the grand fashion, well, obviously would have to play out in the opposite reaction. And that's how you get these, maybe it's a lower wick, maybe it comes back down, maybe this is how if it were to break down this level, but it gets worse than this. So, I mean, I'm not even, these are short-term targets if it were to break down, but this doesn't even look like it would be the grand play. Maybe that's where you would end up coming down to that 38 cents and trying to hold the 2020 or the 2017 uptrend from the pattern consolidation from all-time highs in January of 2018 to how we came down in March of 2020 to the just over 10 cent uptrend where the price converged. It took 27 months to go from a swing high to a swing low. That's how crazy it was. So now that's what we're trying to see. That would play down into that area, but before you start getting excited about those targets, we have one more overlining factor. The fact is that short-term pattern's great from November of 2021, which it does play effect, but there is a larger pattern here. This cup started in March of 2021. Actually, no, it didn't. March of 2022. So, see, you've got an overriding pattern here. So you're trying to hold that uptrending support, which we have so far from 21. But right now, if we were to break down, I feel it could be a disaster because if you break these handles to the bearish side, it's not a good thing. It really isn't. And all I'm trying to demonstrate here is that you've got two complete opposite things that can happen here. One thing that makes me slightly nervous is a rising channel. Rising channels are typically bearish. They're typically bearish. And if you just look at this like this, even in a more confined context as I've done now, this pattern, it's got a big suggestion here. Like we have not been able to break out of this resistance for some time. And now even now that 633 for whatever reason is killing us. It's hampering our move right now. And then when we came up to the all-time pattern, we said even if bearish, you would have to hit there one more time at 75 cents. You know, I try to look at the pattern day by day, week by week, Today we're putting in what looks like a reversal candle, but could that be a sneaky reversal candle? Even though the problem is with that is we're down towards 61.1 cents right now. So I'm looking at this very optimistic here. But if we're going to have a sneaky reversal for the weekend, because there are signs that we are going to have a sneaky reversal, but those same signs that are making us look bullish, you could say we have signs that make it look like we're going to break down as well. So I believe they're playing a very manipulated, maybe not manipulated game, but they're playing a very suave game here right now between the retail and the institutions and the whales. I think they're three separate entities. The whales are just people, in my opinion, with big money. The institutions are the one trying to get in for utility purpose. So you got big whales that move big sums of money around, knowing that it takes a lot to move XRP's price, so it makes it a haven for the rich people, you know, or the whales. So, but right now, as long as this holds, we are bullish. We are on the bullish side of this right now. We really are. And if we want to make a bullish continuation here, we've got to hold this line. If we don't hold this line, the sneaky reversal will probably be invalidated. Now, that doesn't mean it can't start back up at 55 cents or possibly 50 cents at the bottom of the handle. But what it does mean is if you lose this line, that's very critical, because that formation started, and breaking on the outside and backtesting it and failing is usually worse than just getting rejected and continuing to consolidate. I agree, Tanya. It certainly is called the mindfuck of retail people, or the retail investors. I don't disagree with that. 166 people in here. Thank you so much. Only 89 likes. I must not be getting the message across. Because for my dollar, or the dollar you don't even have to spend to watch this, I would think you would want to hit that like button so that we could continue to grow this audience. That you would respect me enough to at least take a split second of your time, as I take hundreds of hours a week. Well, not a week, but hundreds of hours a month doing this, or over time. As I've been here, my anniversary is coming up March 30th of this year. I've never missed a single day in 3 years. I started March 30th of 2021. So get that kind of transparency somewhere else. I mean, I can barely even talk. If you appreciate what I'm doing, please hit that like button. That's the only way for me to grow this program. Without your help, I'm nothing. And that's the truth. So we can do this together, or we don't do it at all. You know, I'm putting in my effort. I expect each and every one of you to put the effort in that I put in for each and every one of you. It's that simple. Thank you so much, Herbert, for the $5 donation. You're doing a great job, Tom. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for that. That's your 10th donation during a live stream. That's incredible. Also, Herbert's been part of Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 badge. I greatly appreciate that level of support. I have no idea what that was supposed to be about. I'll read that comment, but okay. I guess have a good life, my friend. If I didn't respect your time, I wouldn't be here every single day. That's the bottom line. But hey, that's fine. I don't expect everybody to appreciate what I do. That's not a problem. Interesting. That's an interesting thing. So anyhow, XRP right now, we're still trying to hold this area. We do have in the daily time frame what looks like a long leg doji here. So if it did break down to the bottom side, you could have a negative impact here. But yeah, I'm not looking for conflict, so have a nice day, friend. But this W reversal could be the sneaky one. We're all entitled to our opinion, so it is what it is. You can't please everybody. But this could be a very sneaky W reversal here as well. And if we hold this, I think it could play out in a sneaky fashion. It's just we have to be very, very understanding of what could happen if this breaks down. That's all. Right now, though, in the 4-hour time frame, as long as we hold that 606 level, we should be looking pretty good. We could be looking pretty... Yeah, AMM is supposedly live. But as some have suggested, you won't get a real reaction until we get a price dump or correction of some sort. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen here. We can certainly speculate, though, what's going to happen. We can certainly speculate what's going to happen. Thank you for that, Angela, who says we value you and your work. I thank you for that, Angela, love. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years. I believe that's up with the 589 badge. Yes, indeed, it did. This weekend is a hard one, isn't it, Summit? It definitely is. Because as much as it looks like we're trying to have a breakout attempt, we still have to be open and obvious to the fact that that's a head, that's a left shoulder, this could very well be a right shoulder. But for the fact that we've already done this, consolidated down, that could have been our downward consolidation, breakout, and then push. So there's a lot that's going on in just this little cycle here in a very short amount of time. So I think it's pretty cool that we can all watch this together and that we can watch this start to play out in a uniform way, because every day that goes on, we get a little more evidence in the chart pattern, or at least in the movement that we're seeing. So with Bitcoin, we're down 3.84%, or down 2,500 points to 62,926. So what we're looking at here for Bitcoin is we did not bounce off of a very key area we talked about the other day. Actually, I think it was during yesterday's live that we had to bounce off of that area. Otherwise, it needed to, because you could have had an inverted head and shoulders forming, but now you've come too far down. Now what could be forming is something. This is such a weird pattern for Bitcoin, because technically, I suppose we could say we have an overextended. Let's just say for whatever reason that's an arm. What if we had an over-inverted arm and then we swung out? I mean, that's not uncommon. It's just the farther we go with this, Bitcoin really has got to make up its mind here. We haven't broken down yet, though. Until we break this barrier at 57,000 and current times 56,600, that's the broadening wedge that we broke out of some time ago. Like, I'm going to start getting rid of these numbers because I think that just blocks what we're looking at. But that's what we broke down out of. And once we did, we filled out this target. So let's just so we have this down, we can see what we started, and then we can see how we're getting to where we're going, because it's very important to figure out exactly what's going on here along the way. And then it's easier to figure out exactly where we're going from here, because we absolutely filled out that technical move. That technical move should have got it. That's why that was there. That's 60,500. It should have got us right to there. I mean, we basically, with the wick, hit that perfectly. Now, if we did break down from here, it's so hard for me to imagine that we come all the way down here if we were to breach this, even where we're at now, and not come down here and try to retest the breakout of the broadening wedge of support. I mean, to me, that's so important. But it doesn't necessarily have to. Tom, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate what you do. Larry Sanders, thank you. Did that say Larry Sanders? I got to read that again. I apologize if that wasn't the last name I came across. Larry Sanders, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the $4.99 donation. I greatly appreciate that. XRP has an inverted cup and handle. I mean, an inverted head and shoulders. Is that what you're saying? Hold on, I got to see that in a sec. But so that's Bitcoin with the initial drop, which we figured out. But Bitcoin very well could have this inverted pattern in as well. It's so sneaky, though. If these reverse, like, these are so sneaky. It is. It's so sneaky. And it's not any surprise that they would be very sneaky. Like, I don't even have a real way to look at this for Bitcoin. We really don't. Because one could say you're going like this, but every time it comes through, it just pulls back up. So, like, how would you even look? Would you say that? Would you be like, oh, no, Tom, it's starting to, no. So, I mean, there's really no way to be like, oh, this is what, to me, there's no way to just say Bitcoin's doing this or that. So I'm playing the technical targets with that little resistance that's forming here. So it's basically, can it squeeze through? If it squeezes through here, we could certainly see what's starting to maybe develop here. I like to sometimes bring two patterns together. But you very well could be forming something like that if it falls below that 60,518. And then that's basically your zone. If you can hold that, you're very bullish. If you break below that wheel, we could have a big correction coming. You know, Bitcoin did a lot of work just to already be coming back down. But again, It doesn't usually pump leading into the halving. We don't usually go to all-time highs leading into it. But we've definitely done some other things, but we've definitely got a lot of room here if we're continuing to break down. Because remember, as much as we want to be optimistic, we're very well looking at a reversal candle staring us in the face here, whether we want to admit it or not. You know, that's a reversal candle. We've had pressure coming up on not just XRP, but Bitcoin as well, up, up, up. This signifies we've got a concern for the first time on this weekly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for 8 weeks. This is our first concern we have, that we don't have enough strength to push through and that we need to go down for further correction. A long late doji just means indecision at the top or at the bottom of a move. There's indecision here. It could be a mid-tier retracement, but there is indecision here for sure. And it's starting to show up here. Now, in order to get a very weekly or a very bullish push down the week, as we can see, this is squeezed in the middle. And right now, Bitcoin's under 63,000. If you want this to be bullish by the end of the weekend, if you could get this back up, and it's going to take some work, above 66,600, which is very key to me. If you can get past that pivot, so I'm going to put that there. You would have to get past that pivot line now to start having it engulf more in an upper motion on the next weekly candle instead of being flat. Because if this ends up flat, there's going to be a severe correction to come. But like we've been pointing out, and a lot of people in the chat are pointing out, there absolutely is a lot of inversion being taken place here as well. So right below our, right below our eyes, or right below our, what we're seeing, right underneath our noses, there very well could be a really worthwhile correction starting or finishing even. But to me, you can't be optimistic if you're underneath this area. That's just me. If you're below this 63 cents especially, you got to be more on the defensive, because you do have these dot crosses forming. This, anytime you're below this, there's a head and shoulders pattern that's clearly there. So if this plays out truthfully, I don't see why it wouldn't play down to the bottom of the handle. And that's not to scare anybody in the audience, not to scare me. But it's just, we got to be optimistically in reality here. We can't just lie to ourselves. So that's why that's such an important area. Overall, the most important area would be to break out from the actual top end resistance of the bullish handle, if it's bullish. It's bullish right now because it hasn't broken down. I always say a bullish cup and handle unless it breaks down and pours out. Yeah, some are saying we're going to 53. I see in the chat. Technically, to me, I put it down at that 50 cent mark because that's the bottom of the handle if we were to break down. I know there's different levels. I know there's different targets. I know if everything went the route that nobody wants, how big of a drop it could actually be. But at the same time, there's so many different levels. There's so many different levels. Wawa says XRP is going to go up or down. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. I mean, yeah, I'm saying it could go up or down, but I'm giving you an actual legitimate target that it's going to hit. And then I'm giving you the worst case breakdown or the best case break up if we knock down all the levels of where we could be potentially looking. I like to have a sneak peek of where we can potentially go. I mean, let's be honest. The cup and handle, guys, if you want to talk about it in realistic terms, that's all it is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. We're just doing it in a cup and handle formation. We can go back to a very long time ago. Why stop at the 16th? Why not say that's an inverted hand, arm? This entire thing's an inverted head. Came back down, and we're trying to create some kind of inverted right shoulder. I mean, you could look at it in smaller time frames, upper time frames. It all starts to repeat itself in smaller to the higher time frames. I think you're on to something, though, on the 16th, though, because that's definitely true. If we go back to the 16th. Because we could have been bouncing out of here right here. So you're talking about... Oh, you're talking about back here. But yeah, this is where the sneaky reversal can happen. This is that inverted head and shoulders we talked about at the opening. That could be a sneaky inverted head and shoulders. That's exactly what we were talking about. If you look at all-time highs, we got a huge cup. Yeah, the only problem with looking at all-time highs to try to form this cup is you can't just get to all-time highs cup until you get past this cup that I have up there. And that goes back to 2021. And then we show how you go up to the higher levels. Absolutely. Hold on one sec. I got to get the door. I'm doing my line. I'm trying to get done. Thank you. Thank you, Scarlett. I'll talk to you in one sec, Scar. But yeah, that's the larger cup that we have, at least from the smaller one that we have right now in front of us. Now, we would have to get past this overall cup to be able to break out farther. So to me, until the cup and handle we're on breaks down in the shorter term, it's very bullish. So what I'm saying, you can have that bearish undertone and understand what can happen. But I think a lot of this is optics, because if you look at this from the grand scale, I mean, that is going from a cup for almost, that's from 2021. That's the longer scale one. Now, as some have said, you can go all the way back out to the grand scale, and you absolutely, and like I've said before, if you rally back up, it could be a long-term cup from all the way back in 2018. And it could. But in order to do this, you're going to have to see how this failed. Then we said it could come down for an extension. But what did we say if this plays out? That is the biggest W reversal that I have ever seen on a chart, as far as crypto goes. So if there's a true reversal happening here, you know, it is what it is. I think that something could be truly said here. ATK, the $1.13 target. Let me go back to the chart. That's if we break out of this bullish handle. That's like $1.17. But that's going across a little bit farther in the pattern. If we break it sooner, it's going to be about $1.20. I just put it out here so we have some room. If we break out of this short-term cup and handle, our estimated target's between $1.17 and $1.20. And then if we get back on top of that, then we can start having some real movement. Because some would argue, if you get up to that level, that's just the next cup in the line of like 4 or 5 cups that you could technically complete along the way. And what I mean by that is, if you come up here, you could very clearly say that that's another cup right there that would have to finish. We're very much so on a short-term cup. This is the smallest cup out of them all. This is the first level of the reversal. This is absolutely the first level of the reversal. So, but if we don't hold it, that's just where I try to be honest with everybody to show the realistic targets if we don't hold it. I don't think it does anybody good to only know the top side. I'd love to know the bottom side. Do I expect it to go to 4 cents? Hell no. Do I expect it to break this bullish handle? No, I don't. There's about a 15% chance this goes south. So if you're stacking the odds 85% in our favor, 15% against us, I'll take it every day and twice on Sunday. However, that still means 15 times out of 100 this can go to hell. Oh, absolutely. Higher lows on the yearly for sure. XRP is absolutely making higher lows. There's no doubt about that. So, you guys got me. I got to eat this real quick while I'm doing this too. But anyhow, that is true. We are making higher lows here as well. There's nothing bad about this chart right now in the yearly. Not at all. Not at all. And it's like there's so many things that can trip us up, and that's in the weekly. But like if we take this into the smaller time frame, this is one area we have to get past. We can clearly see it formed a smaller head and shoulders here. And if it breaks down, we would end up coming back to that little consolidatory zone around 57.30. That's not exactly a good thing if we want a weekend rally, because then it brings you down under a very key level right here. We don't want to break below this at any cost. We got to stay above that if we want to start having a bullish push out here on the weekend. So, Somebody said 20,000 XRP will be wife changing in a few months. Unless that was a misprint, I seen what you did there, my friend. I seen what you did. But if we're going to break out, though, you know, we have to hold some of these formations. And if we're going to break out, yeah, 75 cents is the target. The breakout target from here is 75 cents. It is. I don't know where I put that, the clone line. But if you break out from here instead of breaking down at 75 cents, that's a retest. And you know why that's so important? That's a showdown here with the all-time formation if that were to play true. This would be a showdown up here. And we haven't been able to break that for 77 months. So, I mean, would it seem right to go do all of this and not have a double top? I don't know. I think it'd be suspect not to double top in the eventuality if this broke down. So there's so many different nuances here to where, oh yeah, Tom, you're saying it could go up or down, but I'm not really saying that. I'm saying read between the lines. For my own money, 85% chance that even if it goes down to 50 cents, that this eventually breaks bullish out of this handle. So, you put $25 in Banman. Yeah, let us know what happens there. XLM crashed. Yeah, that's it. I brought this scenario up as well. XLM, when their equivalent of the AMM went online, granted it was from this cycle, from a bull to bear cycle. XLM went from 30 cents to about, what, 6, 7? It never recovered still. It's still more than 55% down from that day. So, that was my speculation. Is the same thing that happened to XRP because their version only started working flawlessly when they had a massive breakdown in price. And then it brought in some new buyers and the rest was history. Not really history, but you get it. Oh, Vanman asked a question. Okay. I seen that at the very end. I like that the audience is helping each other out. That's something we've really built here that's really special. We have such a great user base. It's unbelievable. So as we continue to watch this, the best thing we can do is not have our emotion in it. Does everybody understand why it's so tricky right now, though? In reality, why it's so tricky, whether it can go up, down, left, or right? There's so many different things for me. Like, if you look at XLM, you can see that inverted pattern starting too. Like, look at this. If I didn't know any better, yeah, we're below the resistance. But did this not create inverted arm, inverted head, possible inverted right arm? If it shoots up, one could argue that it's building it right in front of our faces. But if this breaks down, then it's going to come here, and then it could shoot up, and we would still say it's building it in our faces. You know, it's just, what is actually going on here? We can see something's forming. Now, we do know if this breaks down, you can come all the way back down here to retest. But, like, that's a downtrending consolidation. This is like the first rebound for a break. I mean, I could totally see this also breaking out. That's the thing. The back DXY is pumping. That's why Bitcoin, it actually has no direct correlation to crypto, if you want me to be honest with you. It doesn't help crypto when the DXY pumps, but it has no direct correlation other than the dollar is advancing. So it makes the optics of the price go down because the dollar's worth a little bit more today. From that standpoint, absolutely, it's true. But for that play, it would be more on the precious metals market because it's a direct correlation to, you know, gold and money and currency and that kind of thing. But yeah, it does play to an extent because if the dollar's pumping, typically you will see a dive from crypto just because the relation is, you know, for whatever reason, we push back into bonds and that kind of things and we start pulling money. But in all realness, it shouldn't have a negative effect on crypto just because it's going up. If you're being realistic, it should have a positive effect when it's going up just because money's worth more. So it should make the value worth more on every single dollar you spend. But as we can see with manipulation, it doesn't always do that. nor does it usually do that. But yeah, it's definitely coming up here. 104 spot 43 to close the week. We're actually closing over a key resistance. So, I mean, what is going to happen here if we break bullish out of the short term? You know, but this isn't unlike what's going on. If it breaks up, we come up here. And then we have to deal with about 107. We didn't think the U.S. dollar was just going to give up, or the U.S. government was just going to give up without a fight. Not in an election year. I still don't think that looks all that great. But one could say short term, maybe this formed a short term. Who the hell knows? But with the manipulation here, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go all the way up. You know, so we'll see. We'll see what they got in their hands here in store. But definitely, it definitely weighs on it, you know, from a speculative standpoint. So, go Trump. I mean, I prefer him over the rest, but from a political standpoint, I don't even speak politics. And I can tell you one thing, Trump or Biden, it doesn't do any good for any of us. Central banks run the world. The quicker my audience realizes that, the more you realize it's a dog and pony show in office. Even if Trump has the best interests at heart, nothing you can do about it. We're controlled by the central banks. But I've said too much already. What's the choice? There is no choice. Let's see. It's just all the same. I mean, anyhow. I did like when Trump was in office personally because my wallet looked bigger. You know, he caters more towards the working class. But that's by design, obviously. But I don't want to go into politics. I like Trump personally, so I'm not going to hate on the guy. If that's what somebody's wanting me to do, because I actually do like him. So, but it is the illusion of choice, as some of you know. But I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because I'll get banned here on YouTube. And what we do here is much too important to get banned. So, the XRP market cap here as well. We have hung on here, and if we can see, does everybody see possibly this W reversal that if it plays true is there? Can everybody see that even inside of like the higher time frame in the daily? Can everybody see the sneaky attempt that's trying to be formed here if it does break out? There's a very sneaky inversion here, and it's on the top side of this ascending formation with the XRP market cap. There's a lot of things that suggest that if we could just maintain this bullish consolidation, that especially with the market cap, we would swing from 33.9 all the way back up to 39 billion. That opens up the door for a 75-cent XRP, in my opinion. That would give us the room to do that. Mike Stevenson, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Holy smokes, I was not expecting that. Wow. Thank you so much. In fact, I think I've forgotten to talk about everything. Like, if you're looking to trade XRP and you're trying to do it in the high times of volatility, or you just want to find a way to trade XRP, look in the video description below or pinned comments. Get yourself set up when we're in high times of volatility, so when you're ready to pull the trigger or you're ready to make a trade, you've got something set up on BITUNIX. In the USA, you don't even need to use a VPN. They have lowest spot and leverage trading fees. It's what I've been using more and more each and every day since last July. So just take advantage of that. And then if you're across the seas and you can use MEXC, that's in the pinned comments as well. They have no spot fees. So between the two, you've got a lot of options there. But BITUNIX for the USA has been the easiest thing for me. And I didn't even have to do a KYC because I transferred from an exchange and I transfer out from another exchange. So take advantage of that. You just put some XRP into the AMM. And I appreciate somebody who said you have to update the Zoom or Zaman wallet now that used to be Zoom. But you have to update it, was told, if you want to use the AMM now. So just pay attention to that. Some of the updates in the audience and the comments, as they've done a tremendous job to keep us updated here with the AMM. Let's go BlackRock, pump. What else here? I'm going to go through this reading. So, I want to ask everybody a question. Yes, uphold charges way too much, Daniel. That's why I've been trying to push BITUNIX on my USA audience. That's where I switched to. I have some things still on uphold, but over time I'm going to get rid of them and switch it over. But the ones I could transfer off, I was able to, but not all of the stuff like VChain and Zill and DGBR, I'm gonna have an issue with, and some of the other ones. But like if I want to make $1,000 trade on Uphold, $40. High times of volatility, it could be 60 to $70. With if I use BITUNIX, it's $2 to $3 on $1,000. I mean, it's night and day. So I'm trying to save the audience money as we go along because I'm simply not going to keep putting it in their pocket. But yeah, the politics stuff, I'm not even interested in, so I'm not even reading that in the comments. So I would suggest we pay attention and not talk politics. But hey, everybody has their own opinion. And if you are watching, no matter what you think, just make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this live after all. We'll continue to grow this community no matter what you believe. David Schwartz, does Ripple CTO cryptic tweet suggest XRP could reach $5 after SEC crash? Ripple CTO David Schwartz cryptic tweet prompted speculation about XRP's potential to reach $5 post SEC case. Ripple SEC legal battle extends with uncertainty looming until at least May 2024. XRP price predictions vary with $1 being the next significant milestone. When's the haircut? Never. Julie said never. So if anybody's wondering why he asked that, I told my audience I would not cut my hair or cut my goatee until XRP hit $1. And that was back last July when Julie cut my hair the last time. So it's been August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. It's almost been 9 months. It's $1 or all-time highs. I reserve the right. And Julie's on board for even all-time highs. So just imagine, I might look like Harry Henderson, if you remember him from the 80s and 90s, right? Wasn't that 90s, Julie? Harry Henderson.
I love Harry Henderson.
But that's what I'm going to end up looking like. But anyhow, let's read this. David Schwartz, the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple and XRP Ledger, co-creator, recently took to X to post a cryptic message. His tweet containing what seems to be a mathematical equation resulting in 5 prompted speculation regarding the future valuation of XRP. Is the XRP price ready for an uptrend after the protracted legal battle with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC? So XRP price after Ripple SEC lawsuit. The message shared by Ripple CTO appears to be a mathematical equation. Some users suggest that 5 refers to the mathematical notation for the factorial of 5, while others speculated its context to Ripple's price. A definitive conclusion about the intended meaning behind the post is hard to decipher with the CTO's explanation. CCN has reached out to him on X for clarification and will update the story based on the response. Maybe the story should have come after the response. 230 minus 220 times 0.50 equals $5. So is he suggesting that after a retracement down to 50 cents at the bottom of the handle, we could start an unbelievable venture back up? That's something, we don't know. Or is he suggesting it's going to start now? Julie, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. What a beautiful community we have here and inside my house. Meanwhile, the ongoing legal battle between Ripple Labs, where the heck's my water, and the SEC has reached a new chapter with the submission of a joint sealing proposal. The dates state that the lawsuit will prolong the litigation until at least May 2024. And investors are interested to know the trajectory of XRP's value in the second half of this year. The XRP price has experienced fluctuations, with crypto attaining an all-time high of $3.40 in January of 2018. Ready for this? However, it dipped 50 cents following reports, or dipped below 50 cents following reports of a security breach affecting co-founder Chris Larson's XRP wallet this year. You see how they did that? They make it sound like it was just at 340 at 18, and now because of that, we went down to minus 50 cents only because of a report. That's the last thing that has to do with any of this price action. I'm like, holy hell. Meanwhile, the forecast of $5 for XRP appears to be quite an ambitious one at the time of writing. The next potential milestone for the crypto is $1. According to crypto analyst Dark Defender, XRP could potentially hit $1 by April. The analyst adjusted targets based on XRP's recent high of 75 cents, identifying Fibonacci levels and suggesting potential price ranges in the short term. Dark Defender also mentions a successful support level at 58 cents. They meanwhile characterize XRP's current position as a springboard, signaling potential upward movement. That price was recorrected from like I think $2 or $3 he was saying which I said was unbelievably ridiculous. But of course the Fibonacci's are going to start to retrain it because it's becoming more and more obvious was what's about to happen, at least in the short term. Your one-day time frame update was 58 cents on February 28th. We expect XRP to hit 64.62 on March 1st. 75 cents, $1 in April in progress. Based on the new high of 75 cents, the targets are updated as followed. The Fibonacci lines or levels, which I always like to see. 97.72 to 150 to $2.31 in the short term. See, now I just have to cut this man off. There's so much to have to do before then. David Schwartz cryptic tweet has ignited discussion regarding the potential trajectory of XRP's price against the backdrop of Ripple's ongoing legal battle with the SEC. The community is quite bullish after Judge Therese last favorable ruling in 2023, but XRP is navigating through uncertainties, and the next best price milestone to watch for is $1. I agree with that, because if we break out of that bullish cup and handle, we do have $1.16 or $1.17 to $1.20. That should be the only upper target right now. Until you get past that, you can't break into a complete bullish area. Yes, indeed, Simon. Yes, indeed. And then I wanted to read this while I still had everybody's attention. Still got a few minutes, but I'm running up against it here. XRP eyes abnormal multi-million activity on Korean market amid XRP price drama. Simon says Tom's hair is spot on, sporting the Sean Connery vibe. Yes, I'll deal with that. I'll live with that comparison. XRP price rally triggers 30 million XRP transfer from major Korean exchange. Whale Alert, a cryptic transaction monitoring platform, has detected a substantial movement in the XRP market. Approximately 30 million XRP tokens valued at around 19 million were withdrawn from Upbit, South Korea's leading cryptocurrency exchange, which boasts a turnover of 5.5 billion, as reported by CoinMarketCap. The withdrawal was directed to an undisclosed address labeled R3OW, known for its history of handling large XRP transactions. Presently, only 978,122 XRP tokens remain at this address, only just under a million, indicating a rapid dispersal to various destinations. Such significant withdrawals from exchanges often suggest strategic asset management, potentially reflecting a bullish sentiment among investors. Conversely, movements toward exchanges typically signify a propensity to sell. So this is not a bad sign. When you take it off the exchange into a wallet, that's actually a good sign. That means it's not on the exchange to be sold right now. So in this case, that means 30 million XRPs taken off the exchange and put into a private wallet of some sort, which means it can't be sold until put back on the exchange. So this is actually a good thing. This is a good thing. XRP has climbed to become the fourth largest trading pair on Upbit. Well, here was the official whale alert. 30 million XRP worth $19,009,084 in USD transferred from an Upbit to an unknown wallet. XRP has climbed to become the fourth largest trading pair on Upbit, accounting for 415.56 million in turnover when paired with the Korean won, representing 7.57% of exchange's total turnover. Despite recent days witnessing a notable uptick in XRP price, with gains exceeding 10%, the token's current trajectory suggests a minor setback. The influx of withdrawals has not significantly altered the situation, though it remains stable, especially considering XRP's recent performance amidst market volatility. The surge in trading volume, coupled with the withdrawal from Upbit, underscores a growing interest and activity surrounding XRP. Amidst broader market fluctuations, investors and observers await further developments as XRP navigates through the complexities of current market dynamics. So I thought that was something cool to read. And just because you see it leaving the exchanges, that's not a bad thing. It's when you see it entering the exchanges. So when you see XRP loaded up from a private wallet onto an exchange, That's the sign of a sale coming. When you see XRP taken off of an exchange and put into a private wallet, that's the sign that they're going to write it out and they're keeping it for safe storage. Understand the P's and Q's. So, with that being said, everybody, that's what I got for us this evening. I thank everybody for tuning in. I got to go take care of some life stuff now, as we all know. I'm glad we could do this for an hour. Make sure you pay attention to BITUNIX, especially if you're sick of, like a lot of people in the comments are saying, they're sick of the fees and uphold in the USA. Pay attention to BITUNIX. You don't have to pay the fees anymore. It's going to cut your fees so far down that it's going to change your life in the world of trading. And on uphold, if you're afraid of swing trading, fear no more. If you understand a swing trade's a possibility, and I'm not talking about leverage, but if you're sick of not being able to swing trade on uphold when an opportunity presents itself because you're sick of how much it costs on the in and out and the fact you could lose 7 to 10% in high times of volatility, even if you made a couple percent, and it takes you out of the game. So take advantage of the exchange like BITUNIX in the video description below in the USA with the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. That's all I'm saying. Let's stop giving to the exchanges. Let's start keeping more money in our pocket together. That's what we need to do. So remember here, and I hope I was able to cover everything in a diligent way. I thank everybody for sticking around, and I thank the one person who found this not to be the place for him because it allows me to look within myself so that I don't get to a certain level and to make sure that I can stay at an even keel. So I thank that person as well earlier today. I just can't remember the name. I wish I could. So hopefully that person has a blessed weekend as well. But right now we're looking to hold that 59.5 cents. We hold that. Technically, we could have a sneaky reversal, which a W is starting to form if this can hold. We're on the outside of a breakout attempt. Your technical move should be 75 cents. On a breakdown, make sure you watch the handle support at 50 cents. And unless that handle support gives way here, this is very bullish. And 85% of the time, a cup and handle breaks bullish. And the technical target breaking bullish would be $1.17 to $1.20. Be damned to what happens if we break down. For now, we're going to go with the bullish proposition here, and we're going to look at the good times ahead. Stay blessed, everybody, and have a great evening. Don't drink and drive this evening. If you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments. I want to see everybody here, not just Monday morning, but I want to see everybody here safe tomorrow, especially for live tomorrow night. Have a blessed one, everybody.